It's starting to snow and it's starting to get dark. So not ideal conditions right now. What I'm focused on is finding an already made natural shelter and see if we can get out of the snow. Because if we keep getting snowed on, we're gonna get wet. That equals cold, that equals hypothermia. Hey guys, so we found a cave right here. It looks pretty solid. It's keeping out all the snow, so I'll be protected in there. And again, this is a natural structure that I don't have to build. I can get in there, get a fire going, and just be good for the night. It's pretty open in here. We've got some holes at the top so I can have a fire, and then I'm not gonna be worried about smoking myself out. It's been a long day, right? This is day one. We survived the initial emergency, whatever it is. We found shelter. We were out of the snow. That's the one good thing. What I need to do now, it's getting dark pretty quick. I've got probably an hour before sunset. If I can get my sleeping setup, a full fireplace, and enough firewood, we'll be good. We've got our sleeping bag. Mother of God. This is gonna be interesting. This is my little sleeping bag. All right, is what it is. Let's go cut down and find some good firewood, bring it back here. We can always chop up wood here, but let's go collect it right now while we can still see it. All right, so right here are good examples of wood I would use to cut down. These are all dead and they're still upright, right? You wanna avoid stuff on the ground. It's gonna be a little bit more moist, not ideal. Nice dry inside. That's what you want. So I collected a lot of firewood. What I'm working on now is I'm creating a barrier into the entrance of this cave. There's a lot of creatures out here, and I just don't want anything walking up on me at night. So we've got this little cage here. It'll help protect me. Smaller animals can get in. I'm more concerned with the bigger animals around here. It got real dark real quick. Now I'm gonna start getting that fire going because it's getting pretty dark and it's starting to cool down. For tinder, I'm just using a lot of chips from the wood, right from the inside, because all those trees that we cut were dead and all the insides were dry. So even on a day like today, when it is snowing, raining, this is how you're gonna get your tinder. Let's try out one of these Bigfoot Bushcraft fire starters. So it says to break it kind of like this. You want to kind of fluff. So we're going to light that. All right, there we go. You don't want to suffocate it, right? You let it start going, and then we'll start stacking around it. All right, now we got a little fire going. Putting on bigger logs and just get bigger and bigger. I got the fire going behind me, that heat radiating off that wall. So we've got the air mattress all filled up. This is gonna keep me off the ground, insulated. That air insulates and it won't be conducting my heat from my body to the floor. Drying out the insole, socks, getting the feet warmed up. Okay, so updates, I think the sleeping pad is deflating. I mean, it's deflated in less than 30 minutes that I just had it out here. So that was one of the things that I've used for a while and that worked until it doesn't. So I may have to go out and cut some pine boughs down just to get off the ground because yeah, that's not gonna be fun. Got the sleeping bag, the sleeping mat, which is fully deflated now. I got a bunch of pine boughs to put underneath. But yeah, we're gonna get in here, a little garbage bag, sleeping bag, and we're gonna try to stay warm. It's almost midnight. I got a good fire going. I'm gonna be able to push these logs straight into the fire overnight. A little Nalgene full of hot water, so that's gonna keep me warm. I'm gonna try to keep it in here. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. As you can see, it's very cold. I'd say probably in the 20s. But you're all wanting to know, how warm was this paper thin sleeping bag? First of all, like the sleeping pad had burst, right? I quick went out and got some pine boughs to sleep on. That wasn't super comfortable, and I obviously needed probably about 5 times the amount. My hips were digging into the ground. Not comfortable. I slept maybe total of an hour. One of the worst sleeps I've ever had. I'm exhausted. 7:13. I am actually starving, so I'm gonna start cooking some food. It did snow a decent amount outside. I'll show you that in a sec. All right, we got some snow last night. All right, so we're gonna make some coffee. So we have the Mountain House meal. I'm gonna make this, the chicken and dumplings. It's not the best coffee I've ever had, but out here it is the best coffee. You know what I mean? Like I said, the little things like this can change the game. Where everything sucks, but then you have this and you're like, you know what? It's not that bad. I can do it. I can survive. Now I've had these before. I've eaten these before. This is the same as when I would get them in our cold weather MREs. It's good. So this whole bag is going to give me about 600 calories. I have 400 calories. So that's 1,000 calories for breakfast. You're going to need a lot of calories to survive because of the cold, but also because of the work that you have to do. Whether you have to hike to a ridge to get cell phone service, to get rescued, or cut down several trees and then saw them all up so you have fire so you can survive even in the very cold temperatures. It got pretty cold last night. I had very minimal equipment. I was able to survive. I was chilly sometimes. I was never shivering. You have to do the work. You have to cut the wood if you want to have a fire. All right, so day 1 is complete. We're now on day 2. So we've survived the night. It wasn't great. Again, this is survival. This isn't super comfort. Even when I'm bushcrafting, I'm bringing out more comfortable things that I don't have to rely on just surviving. You don't want to ever just survive unless it's an emergency. And now we're surviving. It was very drafty, and I went around this morning looking for different spots, trying to find maybe a different location. I didn't see anything that I really liked, and the fact that we're already here, we're already set up, we're gonna keep the rock shelter. I think it's a good natural shelter for most people, especially if you don't have any bushcraft skills. You can get in here, get out of the elements, and get a fire going. You'll be okay. You'll survive. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna build this wall much thicker to block the wind and any potential unwanted guests. Again, if you have time, if you're out here for multiple days, improve your position. Always improve. All right, guys, the quick idea for today is instead of laying here on this incline, I'm gonna make a flat surface here to sleep, move the fire to right here. That way I'll be laying here. I'll have this rock wall and tarp to cover and reflect that heat down onto me. We're still gonna have some wind coming down from the opening over there, but you can only do so much. That's very good wood. Oh, I'm cramping. Oh. We ran through our emergency supply of water that came with that 72-hour pack. So we have to collect snow and melt it down, boiling it to purify it. You'll see there's some stuff floating around in there, but it is safe to drink. I'm gonna let this cool, start another batch. We got ramen chicken noodles from the MRE. This is very good, and it's worth the water. A lot of sodium, a lot of carbohydrates. All right, so that's my little meal for right now. We gotta keep working. I gotta get that bed finished. This was kind of a little bit of a setback. Get the bed finished, then we've got to get firewood, and then we've got to build that outside wall. So we got a lot to do. Sun's already starting to go down. We gotta be moving and grooving. All right, guys, so we've got the entrance blocked off, built a little, somewhat of a wind shelter. Couldn't find a lot of down trees. I don't want to cut a lot of boughs off. Sun's going down, so I'm gonna get a fire started. I'm gonna eat something real quick. She's going pretty good. We got some good flames. We got a fire going. My wood's stacked up, and this is it. This is night number 2. As you know, the sleeping bag is dead, so we've got a lot of pine boughs underneath there. For dinner, Peak Fuel peach cobbler. So pound cake and granola with heavy cream, peaches, and brown sugar. It's really good. It's like eating a real dessert. So I gotta boil some water, dry my feet, eat some food. Hopefully, hopefully tonight will be better. This is night number 2, getting ready for bed. It was getting very cold to the point where I was started shivering. I checked the temperature, it said it was 32, but felt like 17. Let's just say the sleeping bag wasn't cutting it. So I went and grabbed, I had packed another bag, some smoker jacket and pants. So I put those on underneath, and now I have more insulation. These sleeping bags are not designed for 17-degree weather. I'm trying to keep this fire going pretty strong, and I'm pretty tired. I was just cutting wood all day, boiling water all day. I was always just doing something and then trying to film everything. I'm gonna try to sleep. Update's 5 in the morning. I'm gonna warm up my feet by the fire. I've been keeping that guy going. It's around 25 degrees, but it says it feels like 16. The toes are cold. 6:40, starting to get a little bit light out. This fire that I got started around 3:34 actually gave off some decent heat. And after I warmed my feet up, it kept me going through the last couple hours. I got my most sleep there. Maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep total again. Just looked at the weather, it says it feels like 15. So I'm gonna make some coffee and then pack up. And we're gonna head out of here. This is day 3. We have survived. All right, so we've got camp packed up. The fire's been put out. It's been a couple days out here, several nights, freezing temperatures, and we're ready to get out of here. I was able to get an SOS out with my Garmin, and I have a 10-digit grid for a helicopter pickup. So I'm gonna head that direction. Let's do it. Even though it's a little bit cold out here, I've taken off my main jacket in cold weather. If you start to sweat, you need to stop immediately. Do not want to sweat when it's cold out. If you do, you're gonna get hypothermia very quickly. Constantly be thinking, do I need to layer down? So I have my hat on, that's probably gonna come off. The gloves can come off. If you feel like, well, I feel a little bit warm, stop, start removing layers of clothing. You can always put them back on. All right, let's get to the helicopter.